Good evening. This is E-Live again, show 3. We have something special for y'all tonight. We need to get to the city again with this violence. And, you know, I'm doing weekly shows and it's more killings. It's done ramped up. It was just a couple killings just the other day. I mean, this is happening every day like we're going to school. This is not school. So we have a voice tonight. Mr. Richard Raw.
Yes.
How you doing, sir?
How you doing, man? I'm Richard Raw, man. I'm blessed to be here, man.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for
Yes.
taking the time to include me in what you're doing.
We have to hit everybody.
Absolutely.
Everywhere.
Absolutely.
You know, we can't leave no stone unturned. We have to get to the root of the problem. The only way we can combat some of this violence is if we talk to people like you and talk to our leaders. And maybe we could get some answers because we're going to talk to the community.
Right.
But it's through you guys, the leaders, because you're pretty much a leader in your culture, if that makes any sense.
Absolutely.
So you're important. You have a voice. You know, people listen to your music. So that's key. So I want to start with the violence head on, man. How do you honestly feel about what you see? Like, you create good music. I love your music. I listen to it.
Right.
But how do you feel about what you see?
I mean, of course, I want things to change.
Yes.
Things to change for the better. But I think one of the things, like you mentioned something about the root causes of the problem. We're dealing with the effects of the problem, but if we don't understand the root causes of the problem, we'll never be able to solve the problem.
Okay.
You know, and I think it's strange that we look at the systemic violence that's happening in communities and we blame the brothers and we say black on black crime is an issue.
Okay.
But that's an outgrowth of a system that is put into place that's working.
Oh.
And the system is working. This is what the system is supposed to produce.
Okay. Okay.
Our problem is we haven't unified and created a system to fight a system.
Okay.
It's a system of white supremacy and racism that preys on us 24/7. It never stops.
Okay.
We have not developed a system to fight that system.
Okay.
So they're supposed to continue in the same fashion until we become conscious enough to merge together and try to figure out some solutions. Now, the solutions to the problems that exist in our community require participation.
Okay.
You see, it's not
Participation from who? The
from
people?
everyone.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And especially young and old, because there's a generation divide.
Okay.
So we have to figure out how we can get the generations to talk to one another,
Okay.
right? And be able to live and coexist peacefully with one another. That's the creation of communities and systems.
Okay.
You see, there's a breakdown of the family. I always say families create communities.
Okay.
Communities create the nuclear family.
Okay.
So that's what we have to really talk about. How can we repair the family?
Okay.
To repair the community, to merge, to bring about a system.
Okay.
You see, because I believe the violence in our community happened after 1968.
Okay.
You know, after our leaders were taken away.
Okay.
You know, we had Malcolm was killed,
Okay.
Martin was killed,
Okay.
Fred Hampton was killed intentionally.
Okay.
This was designed so that we would have no leaders that would speak truth to power. You take those leaders away, the people have no hope.
Okay.
So after they see their leaders crushed and taken away, what happens? A new leadership came up.
I want to stop you right there.
Okay.
I'm going to ask you a tough question.
Okay.
So did Barack Obama give us hope?
He gave hope to some people.
Okay.
But the political system that is in place today,
Okay.
he can only do but so much.
All right.
So I don't believe, like, for me, he didn't give me the hope that everybody else fell for.
Okay.
Because he's been in office for 2 terms.
Yeah.
And we see our community worse now, more killing now than when he first got into office.
You know,
That's a problem.
yes, it's a big
but,
problem.
But I don't think it's his job to solve that problem.
Well, yeah. I just wanted to ask that question.
It's a good one.
I don't want to stay on that. We're going to get away from that. The reason being is because it's our city. Because, you know, I'm asking leaders and what's the problem, and How can we get help? And you know, you hear a lot of our hands are tied. So I asked that to get to that.
Well, yeah, a lot of people have this idea that the mayor should solve some of the problems in the city.
Okay.
I think that if you're looking to politics to solve the problems in our community, you don't understand why the community is in peril.
Exactly.
We can't call for justice from an unjust system.
Mhm.
The system was not designed to give us justice.
Okay.
So if we can't create a system to fight a system, then what are we doing?
Okay.
So it's our responsibility and our duty, such as you, me, and the brothers in the community.
Okay.
We have to figure out how we can get them on a more conscious level.
Yeah.
Our military is out there killing each other. This is our military, and they're destroying one another.
Wow.
But we live in food. We have food deserts. So part of the problem is food deserts. We don't have access to healthy foods.
Okay.
If you don't eat healthy foods, you can't develop properly.
It's funny. I want to stop you right there because it was real funny because I was talking with someone, a business owner, and he said, healthy food. If it's cheap, then how healthy could it be, brother? He said, if you buy something for $1, then how healthy can it be? And it stopped me, and I thought about it because they put all the dollar stuff in the urban areas.
This is dollar stores are the new thing.
Wow.
You know, if you're misfed,
Mhm.
you're miseducated,
Yes. Yes.
right?
Mhm.
Lack of affordable housing, lack of affordable health care, right?
Yeah.
These are the communities we live in. So then they say, why are you killing one another? You say, well, I'm not being fed right. I'm not being educated. I'm talking about educated in terms of the knowledge of who I am and what I'm supposed to produce. Our people built pyramids.
Okay.
Our youth have to know what we did and know that we can still build pyramids.
I have to challenge both sides. Wouldn't they say we're making excuses though?
Excuses for what? What you mean in terms of?
The black man making an excuse why he can't get up.
Well, there has to be accountability.
Okay.
See, we have to be held accountable to each other. This is why I say a system. I say a system that's rooted in African school of thought.
Okay.
Because there's a system of accountability. What are you doing
Okay.
to help the whole?
Yeah.
And the European thought is, I'm getting mine, materialism, I'm good. The African school of thought teaches that if I can't pull you up, I failed.
Yeah.
It's the whole. So that's why I say the development of a system where you have a checks and balances. You got to be held accountable. You can't be lazy. That's
Well,
not gonna fly. These are certain things you have to do as a man.
Yeah.
There's responsibilities that you must live up to as a man.
I'm gonna go ahead and stop right here. We're gonna take a break. I just want to tell you guys we got to pay some bills so we can keep the lights on TV. This is an interesting show, but we'll be back with Richard Raw after these messages. Morella's Cleaning. We clean homes, offices, organize storages, some basements. We take pride in our cleaning. Morella's, a name you can trust. Email maryhill@yahoo.com. Cell 302-230-1557. Hours 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. Morella's Cleaning, a cut above the rest. No job too small, no job too big. I'm going to change the whole dynamics of the show. It was alarming to me that BT didn't play the march that just happened over the weekend. I turned my TV to try to find it because I couldn't make it because I'm busy shooting L.W.U.M TV for the city of Wilmington. So I couldn't make it to the march.
Well, you're doing the work. And that's what counts.
But I thought I could find it on TV. I couldn't find the march nowhere. Can you add something to that? Why?
Well, number one, we know BET hasn't been black-owned for some time. Viacom owns BET.
Right, right.
And so
Education is key.
education is key. A lot of people still think that BET is black-owned.
Yes.
And I tell them it's not black-owned.
And can they find this? Can they see? My thing is, L.W.U.M TV is built on facts and truth. That's what it stands on alone. So, can they go find this
Absolutely.
in Wikipedia? Can they go find this in Google? See, we can go find.
Absolutely.
We can go find Love and Hip Hop on Google. We can go find a scandal on Google. We go find everything that the world put out there for us. But important information about our culture, can they go find it?
Yes, they can.
Okay. Okay.
It's
So-
training the mind to look for truth.
Okay.
You have to train the mind to look for truth.
Okay.
And unfortunately, we have been trained to look for lies
I understand.
and misinformation. So, in terms of the march, it didn't concern me
Okay.
because Sonetta TV, Doggy Diamonds, these are different media companies owned by our own people who were there, who covered it.
Okay.
So I say that we have to start looking at alternative methods and alternative models like this.
Okay.
Servants to our community who may not have the big cameras to broadcast, across seas or
Exactly.
whatever.
Exactly.
But this is important, what you're doing right here.
Yeah.
And we have to learn to support things like this. So if
Thank
they
you,
don't
brother.
show the march, they're not supposed to. See, it's like, what do we expect them to do? We expect them to show us in a good light. You give them a lot of credit when you think that way. If you think the system is going to show you in a good light, that's the expectation that there is. It's like, what are we going to do? How can I support you to keep this going right here?
Yeah.
You see what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So
Yeah.
we have to start changing our concept and what we support. I was like, they didn't show it, so be it. They don't show much
Wow.
of us in a good light, so who cares? But there's many. Go online and you can just put in Google and find out all of the black camera crews, and I was there. We were out there covering this on the ground, and I was like, this is beautiful.
Yeah.
We cover our own, because if they covered it, would they even cover it from our perspective?
Yeah. That's why I started L.W.U.M TV. And I said I wasn't going to challenge no newspapers or nobody else. Well, I'm just a little uncomfortable with what I see. And I understand that our people needs to get the truth.
Absolutely.
And I really don't care what I'm putting on the line because I have kids. I have 4 kids. You understand? I have a daughter that's 13. I have a son that's 14. I have another son that's 9. And I have another son that's 2. So it alarms me what's going on. Another statistic that I'm going to talk about, there's been 14 kids in the city of Wilmington that have been shot under the age of 18. All my kids are under 18. So it really bothers me. So that's why we started L.W.U.M TV, because we need a voice. And it got bigger than me.
And it should continue to grow.
Yes.
It should continue to grow. And this is what I support.
Yes.
I support independence.
Yes. Truly.
Because corporations, if it doesn't benefit them, they're not going to show it in a positive light.
Exactly.
So, I just look at things from a different perspective. Like I said, I don't expect the system to do certain things. I know a lot of people have that faith in the system, but people who've been in the penal system understand that justice is just us.
Just us.
For somebody else.
Yes.
It's tough for us to get justice in an unjust system.
I feel like we should be able to be accountable for ourselves.
Absolutely.
And hold everybody else accountable for themselves.
Yes.
It just has to be accountability. It's a couple things I want to touch on. Some of the views that I see, I think that a lot of the violence that's going on now, it would slow down if the Wilmington police officers lived in the city, if the fire people lived in the city. When that presence was living in the city, or they had to live in the city to take the job, it kind of slows up a little violence, I believe.
Okay.
And that's just my opinion. What do you feel on that?
I think slowing up the violence is, as a revolutionary, we have to create a Panther system. That's the solution. When the Panthers were out on the streets every day, we have to police our own communities. Again, the system, the police system, the way it was structured, if you understand how it was supposed to run,
Okay.
and what has happened over time, you understand that, okay, there's only but so much faith that we can put in that solving our issues. But I think we have to be accountable. Like, we have to figure out a way to get in our communities and police them.
Okay.
And I think a Panther type effort, would solve some of the problems in the community.
I'm just put a spin on it. What if it wasn't a Panther Party, but what if it was some strong black brothers?
Well, it could be
that
that
decided to take back their homes and be men,
that
real men.
And that's what
you understand what I'm saying?
That's why I say Panther-like.
Okay.
You see,
okay,
because
okay.
the Panthers they were strong, and when
Yes,
people
yes.
seen them, they said, "I respect that.
Yeah,
I respect them. Get out of the neighborhood. Get off of this block. You know, old lady lives there. Yo, you either gonna take care of her, or get the hell off of this block."
Mhm.
That's the type of mentality. But see, we have a generation divide, so the elders are scared to address the young people
Yes.
because in fear that they're gonna do something like pull out a gun
Yeah.
or be violent toward them. So these are things that we have to address in our communities.
Yes.
And I say we have to be flexible in how we address them. I can say this is how we're gonna do it, but
Mm-hmm.
you know, through history we evolve. So what worked then,
Mhm.
it may still work, but we have to add in some things
And
or
tweak
take
it.
away some things
Yeah,
and tweak.
yeah,
So
yeah.
I say that we are living people. Look at our language. It's alive. Tomorrow there'll be a new word that a young boy will say to you, and you'll be like, "What?" We're alive.
And it keep growing.
It keeps growing.
Yeah.
So the solutions to our problems keep growing.
Well, it seems like we all have to evolve. We can't stay the same. You know, it's
Absolutely.
like the plant grows. We all have to grow up.
Mm-hmm.
You know, everything grows up. And I think going up is positive. That's my theory of it.
Mhm.
So we all got to grow up.
Absolutely.
You know, I don't care if it's the politicians.
Mhm.
I don't care if it's the people. I don't care if it's me, you. We need to grow up because our kids are watching. And that's what's key.
And that's what's important.
That's the only thing that's important.
I just had this conversation. We have to socialize our children.
Yes.
We do.
Yes.
And we have to teach them the concept of family. There's so many men that have issues with identity
Yeah.
and manhood.
Mhm.
And that's a problem, especially for young men, because they don't see a man in their house on a day-to-day basis.
Exactly.
So the things that they see on Empire
Yeah.
or Power, all
about
of
it.
this is what they internalize as manhood,
Or they relate to it.
aggression.
And they take it to the streets.
That's what happens.
You can't emulate TV. That's TV. They stop and they take a lot of takes.
Mm-hmm.
You guys are taking one take and people are dying.
Yes.
So I'm glad you touched on that.
Yeah.
We can't keep emulating TV.
No.
We have to let that go. We have to let that go. It burns to my soul, man. You know, it really gets to me. So we're going to ease up on the violence because I brought Richard Raw on the show.
Okay.
And I want to talk about you now. What's going on with you, man? Tell the public about you, Richard Raw.
I'm Richard Raw.
Okay.
I started as a musician. I started as an MC, and my role has changed over time. I've turned in more to a community activist.
Okay.
Being involved in changing the narrative of my community, changing the lives of young men. I created an organization called Culture Restoration Project, my wife and I promote the fact that I'm married because I believe that twofold households are what we should be pushing for.
Yeah, this is wonderful, man.
We have to press that. And as a young man, when they see that, I'm always highlighting my wife, and I'm like, I don't dominate my wife.
Yes.
We share responsibilities.
Yes.
It's equality, and there's duties and responsibilities I do and she does. So we started an organization called Culture Restoration Project.
Yes.
And this organization, it started as a lecture series.
Okay.
You know, in our communities, we would go to black businesses and we would do lectures about our history, about who we are,
Yeah.
try to involve the people.
All right.
And we expanded over time to creating programs. Like currently I have a program with young men called Beyond Those Bars. We use hip-hop because they love hip-hop.
Okay.
So we use hip-hop as a base to teach them life skills, to teach them how to effectively communicate.
Okay.
You know, how to sit down and write out a resume. So,
Okay.
but I use hip hop as a way to pull them in. So they create songs. But in creating those songs and all these activities that we're doing, they begin to realize that you're learning so many important key issues. Hip hop changed gang culture. Okay. So I believe that if we can use hip hop, it's a gang problem in Wilmington.
Yes.
There's gangs everywhere.
Yes.
Hip hop is the solution.
Okay.
That's what I believe in my heart.
Okay.
Because I've worked with young men and I've seen them progress after taking this program.
So how can we take your organization to the next level? can people contact you?
Yes.
How can they contact you?
www.richardraw.com.
Okay.
And hit me up. Find out when our next sessions are going to be, because these are some of the. Also, we have Bum Rush Black Business. That's an initiative that we have every month. We go to a business, a whole bunch of people, and we just support it. If they sell food, we all buy something. Now, I'm a vegan, so I'll go in and buy a sandwich and give it away to somebody else, because it's not about what I like.
Oh man, come on with it.
But we have to go in and support our own in order for us to be successful. We can't depend on others.
Yeah.
We have to depend on ourselves.
We have a slogan that L.W.U.M stands by, and it goes something like this: your service is a direct connect to your success. Because we understand that we have to give first. And when we tell a lot of people that, they're stuck, because the mind is set up to, what is you trying to do? What is your intentions?
Yeah.
My heart says just to help. Everything else is going to be added unto me, because I know the laws. There's laws.
Yeah,
you have to follow them. Just like there's real laws. I have laws I follow, and it works for me. It may not work for everybody, but it works for me.
Right.
So our service is a direct connect to our success. So I really respect what you said.
And
when you said that.
And everything that I do, I tell people I'm a Pan-African. So everything that I do is centered in African thought.
Okay.
And I believe that that's the solution. Because, again, we are communal people.
Okay.
When we go outside, we hang with each other. We're trying to, what's good? Come on over here.
Yeah.
Eat. Mama invite you in. We are communal people. We lost that.
Brotherly love. Right?
It still exists in another form. So we got to figure out a way to get back to that connection. And I believe that, this culture, Euro-based culture, is based on materialism. The things that I can accumulate, the physical things I can accumulate. But we are a word, oral, and spirit-based people. You see, so what we do is the greater good is for the community, not for the individual. You see what I mean?
Exactly.
So I say that's some of the some of the issues. We have to have we talked about young men. We have to have a rites of passage to pass from boyhood into man.
Yeah.
We have to develop that.
Yes.
Get the young boys involved in that. What you're doing is beautiful.
Yes.
We need to teach them what you're doing.
Yes.
So that they can carry on your legacy. It's apprenticeship. I got to teach them what I do. Miz has to teach them what he does. Yeah. Shorty T has to teach them what he does. That's African apprenticeship. Come under me and let me show you rather than you read a book and learn about it. Exactly. I got to show you what I'm doing.
Morella's Hair. Repair dreadlock, also do locks, braids, weaves, crochet weave-in, sew-in weaves, schools in. Also asks about our specials. The holidays are around the corner. Any missed appointments, it's the late fee. Phone 302-230-1557. Email maryhill@yahoo.com. Appointments only. Anti-lock braids also available.
Life is a cycle, and death is the end. But I just say death is the day that you begin. 'Cause I can see the spirits floating in the wind, waiting for the chance to return once again. And we all cried out. It's like we don't have no tears left. That's how it seems. And we all cried out. And my heart goes out to the mothers who lost the little ones. And we all cried out due to violence in the streets, bodies everywhere. And we all cried out. Enough crying, it's time to do something. Take action, take a stand, And we all cried out. Have we become desensitized to the murders? And we all cried out. Somehow we gotta save the babies, as Marvin Gaye said, And we all cried out. Murder, murder, they murdered another son. I'm looking at his corpse like, what could he have become? We dialed 911, but they took too long. He couldn't hold on, I guess he wasn't too strong. Maybe he don't belong on this earth. The preacher saying we should look at it as God's work. How could we console his family from the hurt of seeing a son being lowered to the dirt? He was way too young, not even 21, with a daughter on the way. His life just begun. His mama saying, why? My baby had to die. Reaching for a heart, tears rolling from my eyes. A daughter growing up without a father, that's foul. You can see the pain in her face when she smiles, she's questioning her faith. Growing up scared in a world where she feels she's not prepared, it ain't fair. No, they say life is a cycle, and death is the end. But I just say death is the day that you begin. Cause I can see the spirits floating in the wind, waiting for the chance to return once again. And we all cried out. Too many RIPs, too many RIP shirts, you know. And we all cried out. Wake up in the morning, you read the newspaper, another one gone. And we all cried out. Me barely 21, didn't even get a chance to grow. And we all cried out. Oh, my heart goes out. Yeah, my heart goes out. And his fam saying revenge is in order. He's gone from the flesh, yeah, he's living through his daughter. His boys hit the block strapped looking for the killers. Riding round half drunk, swerving through the village. They call crash, then they all pass with a mess. Mama can't take it, she's a cardiac arrest. The family went into debt, trying to pay for all the weight. Heart full of hate, only so much that they can take. God make this black cloud go away. Cause this black cloud just seems to follow us all over the city, you know what I mean? Cause death affects us all, the killer's family mourns. The angel of death reaps as a baby is being born. The physical form's gone, the spirit's in elevation. The soul is the treasure chest for spiritual information. In judgment, your deeds are weighed by the debt and life you paid. Don't matter how much you prayed, what about the path you laid? They say life is a cycle, and death is the end. But I just say death is the day that you begin. Cause I can see the spirits floating in the wind, waiting for the chance to return once again. And we all cried out. Kill each other because we hate each other. That's why. And we all cried out. They're all misguided. The killers are misguided, you know what I mean? And we all cried out. The killers are supposed to be the army for the black nation. And we all cried out. We somehow gotta get that through to them, you know what I mean? We all cried out.
Are you looking for the internet station that does it all and plays it all? Are you searching for more of the hit music you love to hear? Tired of hearing the same 10 or 15 songs an hour like you do on most commercial radio stations? I believe I have a solution, one that will suit your ear and conveniently travel with you on the go. Check out the all-new 100 Do It All Radio on 100doitallradio.com. and the mobile app on iPhone and Android app stores. Based out of the Delaware Valley, hitting you worldwide, 100 Do It All Radio is also showcasing the area's top DJ talents. Hear your favorite artists, past to present, and all the hits. Artists, labels, and music affiliates submit music or press materials to radio submissions at 100doitallradio.com. To advertise your brand or business, email us now at advertisewithus@100doitallradio.com. 100 Do It All Radio.